What's up guys? Welcome back sa ating channel. Again, this is your math teacher, Sir Gaor. Ready na po ba tayong matuto ng isang panibagong math lesson? So kung ready na, today we will be studying converse, inverse, and contrapositive statements of a conditional statement. So kung paano po itong nasa table natin, malalaman po natin kung ano ibig sabihin ng mga symbols na yan, kung ano ibig sabihin ng mga terms na nandyan. Okay, so this is still under most essential learning competencies of Math 8 under Geometry second quarter. Kung sa tingin nyo meron kayong natutunan sa ating video, you may like this video. You may also comment in the comment section. At para sa mga hindi pa po natin subscribers, please subscribe. Here are the objectives of today's lesson. Determine the converse, inverse, and contrapositive of an if-then statement. Illustrates the equivalences of A. The statement and its contrapositive. B. The converse and inverse of a statement. So let us proceed to our drill. So I hope you can still remember the hypothesis and conclusion from our previous video. For letter A, we have to underline the hypothesis and box the conclusion of each given statement. And for letter B, we will transform each statement into its equivalent if-then statement. Good luck! If you are done, let's now check your answers. Hypothesis and conclusion. Hypothesis, conclusion, hypothesis, and conclusion. For the if-then form, a square is a rectangle. So the correct answer is, if a figure is a square, then it is a rectangle. And for number 2, the intersection of two distinct planes is a line. The answer is, if two distinct planes intersect, then their intersection is a line. So I hope you got a perfect score of 8. So, if not, paki-counter check na lang po kung saan ba tayo nagkamali. Let us now proceed to our lesson, which is the converse, inverse, and contrapositive statements of a conditional statement. But before that, let us recall the definition of conditional statement. A conditional statement is always given in if P then Q. So, or in symbols, ganyan po yung kanyang symbols. Ang basa po dyan ay if P then Q. Ito po yung ginagamit na mathematical symbol sa kanya. Ganyan po mismo dapat yung pagkakadrawing ng arrow. Okay, let's have some examples. Number 1, if today is Monday, then we have online classes. Let's identify example number 1, if it is true or false. So, true or false ba yan? If today is Monday, then we have online classes. What do you think is the answer? It is a false statement. No, kasi hindi naman po lahat ng Monday ay mayroong online class or online classes. So, pwede namang Monday pero bakasyon. So, walang online class. Pwede namang Monday pero walang online class kasi meron ng face-to-face classes dahil natapos na yung pandemic. So, therefore, it is a false statement. Number 2, if an angle measures 90 degrees, then it is a right angle. What do you think is the answer? It is a true statement. It is simply because if an angle measures 90 degrees, automatically, it is considered as a right angle. Okay, so let's now consider the following. Number 1, converse statement. To write the converse statement of a conditional statement, simply interchange the hypothesis and the conclusion. So, pagpapalitin lang pala yung hypothesis and conclusion. So, this time, we have if Q, then P. Or in symbols, if Q, then P. Yan. So, ganyan po yung kanyang symbol. If Q, then P. Okay, examples. Yung kagaya natin yung kanina. Conditional statement na binigay natin kanina, if today is Monday, then we have online classes. At sabi natin kanina, ang sagot dyan ay false. What about its converse statement? Paano kaya yung kanyang converse statement? Pagpapalitin po natin yung nasa then at saka yung nasa if, So therefore, our hypothesis now is if we have online classes, then today is Monday. So what do you think is that? If we have online classes, then today is Monday. Kung meron daw online class, ibig sabihin Monday daw. So what do you think is that? The correct answer is, it's still a false statement. Hindi lang naman Monday mayroong online class. Pwede namang may online class nga sila pero Tuesday naman. Okay? So ganun lang po yung ginagawa sa converse statement. Pinagpapalit yung hypothesis at saka yung conclusion. Letter B. The given conditional statement before was if an angle measures 90 degrees, then it is a right angle. At sabi natin kanina, that is a true statement. For its converse statement, so if an angle is right, then it measures 90 degrees. So kung yung angle daw ay right, so ang measurement niya raw ay 90 degrees. So what do you think is the answer? It is still a true statement. So kahit pinagbaligtad pa, because of the converse statement, true pa rin yung ating statement. Okay, so now we can consider this one. If a conditional statement and its converse are both true, then they can be combined to one biconditional statement. Kapag yung conditional natin tsaka yung converse natin ay parehas nag-true, pwede natin siyang pagsamahin into one biconditional statement. Pagsamahin na lang natin siya. Okay, yung biconditional statement, P if and only if Q. Again, nagagawa lang yan pag parehas true yung conditional at saka yung converse. In symbols, yan po yung mathematical symbol ng if and only if. Ganito po siya. So, kaya nga siya tinawag na biconditional. In both conditions, true po tayo. Okay, so paano gawin ba yung biconditional statement niyan? Okay, an angle measures 90 degrees if and only if it is a right angle. So, pwede yun. Or the other way around, an angle is right if and only if it measures 90 degrees. Let us now have this inverse statement. To write the inverse statement of a conditional statement, simply negate both the hypothesis and conclusion. So, ine-negate daw natin. So, ano bang ibig sabihin ng negate? Ibig sabihin, ine-negative natin. No, paano yung ine-negative? So, lalagyan lang natin siya ng not. No? Lalagyan lang ng not. Okay. If not P, then not Q. So, if it's not P, then not Q daw. So, ganyan po yung kanyang mathematical symbol. Ito po yung ating negation symbol. So, hindi siya negative sign pag ganyan po talaga siya. Okay? So, if not P and then, or then not Q. Okay, examples. From the given conditional statement before, if today is Monday, then we have online classes, which is a false statement. Paano naman po yung kanyang inverse statement? If today is not Monday, so yan, hindi po pinagbaliktad ha, nilagyan lang ng not. If today is not Monday, then we do not have online classes. So, nilagyan lang ng not. So, analyze natin kung true or false na yan. Or kung baka nag-true na siya, no? If today is not Monday, kung hindi raw Monday ngayon, then we do not have online classes. So, it is a false statement. False pa rin yun, no? Kasi pwede namang hindi Monday, pero meron namang online class. Okay? Next, letter B. Conditional statement before. If an angle measures 90 degrees, then it is a right angle. We have the answer as true. For its inverse statement, lagyan natin ng not. If an angle does not measure 90 degrees, then it is not a right angle. So, kung yung angle daw hindi raw nagme-measure ng 90 degrees, hindi raw siya right angle. So, tama. Pag hindi naman 90, hindi talaga right. So, therefore, that is a true statement. Okay, so ang ginawa lang bali doon sa inverse ay nilagyan lang natin ng not pero hindi natin pinagbaliktad, no? Nilagyan lang natin ng not yung hypothesis and conclusion. What about this contrapositive statement? To write the contrapositive statement of a conditional statement, get the inverse of its converse. So, inverse daw nung kanyang converse. So, ang ibig sabihin, ang gagawin natin ay if not Q, then not P. So, ang ginawa, pinagbaligtad, pagkatapos nilagyan pa ng negation. No? Pinagbaligtad, tapos nilagyan pa ng not. So, in symbols, if not Q, then not P. So, sabay na ginawa yung converse tsaka yung inverse. No? Parehas ginawa yung converse tsaka inverse. Pinagbaligtad, tapos nilagyan ng negation sign. Okay, examples. Conditional statement, again, if today is Monday, then we have online classes, and that's a false statement. For our contrapositive statement, the contrapositive statement of that, so magbabaligtad, so ang mauuna ay itong we have online classes, pero lalagyan pa natin ng not. So, if we do not have online classes today, then today is not Monday. Therefore, what do you think is that? So, pinagbaligtad, tapos nilagyan ng negation. It's still a false statement. False pa rin yun, no? Hindi raw, or wala raw online class, kaya hindi raw Monday. So, pwede namang walang online class, pero Monday. Okay? So, false pa rin siya. So, let us have letter B, the same conditional statement. If an angle measures 90 degrees, then it is a right angle. So, sabi na natin kanina pa, it is a true statement. What about its contrapositive statement? So, kailangan magbaligtad yung hypothesis conclusion at lalagyan din ng not, parehas. Ayun. So, contrapositive statement is if an angle is not right. So, nag-start tayo dito sa conclusion. Tapos nilagyan natin ng not. If an angle is not right, then it does not measure 90 degrees. So, ano kaya siya? True or false? Kung hindi raw right yung angle, hindi raw siya nagme-measure ng 90 degrees. It is a true statement pa rin. So, always remember, kapag meron tayong biconditional statement, lahat ng statement po natin ay puro true. No? Kailan ba nagkakaroon ng biconditional statement? Yung sinabi natin kanina, kapag nag-true si conditional at saka nag-true rin yung kanyang converse. Kaya dapat ang unang-unang sinosolve ay yung converse muna para ma-identify natin kung meron tayong biconditional. At hindi mo na kailangang i-analyze yung inverse at contrapositive kasi true na lahat sila. Okay, so let us summarize. Let us have this table. For conditional statement, if P then Q. So, remember, wala tayong ginagawa sa conditional statement. Kasi yun po yung given statement. So, yan po yung condition. So, kinokopya lang natin si conditional statement. What about the converse? For the converse statement, if Q, then P. If Q, then P. So, pinagbaligtad ng pwesto si hypothesis and conclusion. Okay, if both of these are true, so magkakaroon tayo ng biconditional statement. Kung nag-true si conditional at nag-true rin si converse, so therefore, we will have a biconditional statement. At yan po yung gagamitin na symbol sa biconditional statement. P, if and only if Q. And for the inverse, ang gagawin sa inverse ay ininegate natin si conditional. So, palagi tayo nakadepende kay conditional. So, ininegate natin. So, we have if not P, then not Q. And for our contrapositive, so, si conditional, ang gagawin kay conditional ay pagbabaligtad rin ng pwesto, tapos, ininegate parehas. So, therefore, that is if not Q, then not P. Let us always remember the following. Logically equivalent statements are two statements that have same truth value for every possible interpretation. So, ito yung dalawang statement na kahit anong gawin mo or kahit anong interpretation mo, parehas palagi ng sagot. It's either parehas true or parehas false. Okay, kung napansin nyo yung kanina, yung conditional statement at saka yung ating contrapositive statement, palagi silang parehas ng sagot. It's either parehas silang true or parehas silang false. Because these two are logically equivalent to each other. While the converse and the inverse are logically equivalent to each other also. Kung napansin nyo rin yung kanina, si converse at saka si inverse palaging parehas ng sagot. So it's either both of them are true or both of them are false. But neither of them is logically equivalent to the conditional statement. Ibig sabihin, si converse at saka si inverse hindi palaging parehas kay conditional. Minsan parehas pero hindi palagi, no? Pero sabi ang definition ng logical equivalent dapat palagi no. So sometimes they are the same, they have the same truth value with the conditional statement, but sometimes they don't have. No? Okay, I'll provide you more examples para ma-practice pa natin yung pagsusulat ng iba't ibang klaseng statements. Okay, so the given statement here is, if Joseph lives in Paco, then he lives in Manila. So that is our conditional statement. So what do you think is the answer? True or false? Si Joseph daw nakatira sa Paco, kaya nakatira siya sa Manila. So therefore, it is a true statement. For our converse statement, so let us interchange the hypothesis and the conclusion. If Joseph lives in Manila, then he lives in Paco. So kung nakatira raw siya sa Manila, sa Paco siya nakatira. So pwede namang hindi ganun, di ba? So therefore, our answer is false. Pwede namang nakatira siya sa Manila, pero nakatira naman siya sa Sampaloc, hindi lang sa Paco. Okay, so for our biconditional statement, there is none. So, kasi nga, since the converse statement is false. So, kailangan kasi true yung conditional at saka true rin yung ating converse. Kaya, wala po tayong biconditional statement. For our inverse statement, yung merong not. Okay, if Joseph does not live in Paco, then he does not live in Manila. So, hindi raw siya nakatira sa Paco, kaya hindi raw siya nakatira sa Manila. What do you think is the answer? True or false? It is a false statement. So, hindi siya nakatira sa Paco. Halimbawa, nakatira siya sa Sampaloc. So, pero nakatira siya sa Manila nun. So, therefore, it's a false statement. For the contrapositive statement, ayan, so pinagbaligtad yung hypothesis conclusion, tapos parehas nilagyan ng negation, nilagyan ng not. If Joseph does not live in Manila, then he does not live in Paco. Hindi raw siya nakatira sa Manila, kaya hindi raw siya nakatira sa Paco. So that is sure na hindi mangyayari kasi nga wala nga siya sa Manila eh. No? Wala nga siya sa Manila. Ang tinutukoy po na Paco dito ay yung Paco Manila ha. Yung Paco Manila. Baka isipin ng iba ay meron namang Paco sa ibang lugar, no? Yung Paco Manila po ang sinasabi diyan. So it is a true statement. Okay. So, kung papansinin natin o balikan natin yung logically equivalent statement. So, yung contrapositive daw at saka yung conditional. So, palagi silang parehas ng answer. At saka yung converse at saka ang inverse. Palaging parehas ng answer because they are logically equivalent statements. Let us still have more examples pero iba naman yung question. So, ganito naman siya. What is the inverse of a converse statement? So, paano naman sagutan yung ganyan, no? Okay, to answer this kind of question, ang gagawin lang natin dito ay working backwards. So, ang tinatanong ay inverse at saka yung converse. Meron tayong nabasa rito ang inverse at converse. So, ang gagawin lang natin, pabalik or working backwards. So, mag-start tayo doon sa huling binanggit na huling binanggit na statement. And that is the converse statement. So, converse statement, remember, if Q then P. From the conditional, so ang converse statement natin bali ay if Q then P. Tapos, ang kukuhanin natin ay ang kanyang inverse. So, pabalik lang kasi tayo. So, ano bang ginagawa ulit sa inverse? Yung inverse po ay nagne-negate tayo both sides. So, itong meron tayo na converse statement, inenegate lang natin both sides. So, ano mangyayari kapag ninegate natin both sides? So, ganyan. So, nagkaroon ng negation both sides. If not Q, then not P. Okay, going back to our summary a while ago. So, asan po dyan yung not Q, not P? So, ito po. So, therefore, our answer is contrapositive. So, the inverse of a converse statement is a contrapositive statement. Another example. What is the converse of the conditional of a contrapositive statement? So, what is the converse of the conditional of a contrapositive statement? So, saan tayo mag-start dito? Sa contrapositive statement or contrapositive. So, ang contrapositive statement ay if not Q, then not P. Tapos, pabalik. So, anong meron tayo? Conditional. So, conditional, kapag conditional ang nakita natin, wala tayong gagawin dyan. No? There is nothing to do. So, anong gagawin kung nothing to do? Siyempre, kokopyahin lang natin. Kasi nga, si conditional ay yung given statement. So, kung ano yung latest na given, kung anong latest na meron tayo, kokopyahin lang natin. Okay? So, wala pong ginagawa kapag conditional yung nabasa. And, for the converse, so yung converse naman natin ay, ang ginagawa sa converse ay ini-interchange yung P tsaka Q. So, yung hypothesis conclusion. So, in this form, ang hypothesis natin ay itong not Q eh. So, magbabaligtad lang sila. So, therefore, we have not P, or if not P, then not Q. So, therefore, that's the last one. So, going back to the summary, ano po yun? Not P and then not Q. So, ito. So, ano siya? It is the inverse. So, therefore, the converse of the conditional of a contrapositive statement is an inverse statement. So, let's now proceed to try this part para ma-practice palalo natin yung ating mga natutunan kanina. So, for letter A, we are asked to give the converse, the biconditional, if there is, the inverse, and the contrapositive of the given conditional statement. Also, i-identify din natin kung true ba or false yung naging statement. Okay, the given statement is, if a number, or the given conditional statement is, if a number is divisible by 3, then it is divisible by 6. And for letter B, answer the following. Number 1, what is the inverse of a contrapositive? And number 2, what is the converse of the contrapositive of an inverse statement? Okay, so pwede niyong balikan yung ating discussion kanina kung meron kayo nakalimutan. Good luck! Okay, so kung tapos na po kayo sa try this, so let us now check your answers. For letter A, or for our conditional statement, if a number is divisible by 3, then it is divisible by 6. It is a false statement. No, kung divisible daw by 3, divisible na raw by 6. So, hindi po ganon. Yung 9 ay divisible by 3, pero hindi naman siya divisible by 6. So, therefore, it's a false statement. For its converse, so pagbaligtarin natin, if a number is divisible by 6, then it is divisible by 3. It's a true statement. Kung divisible daw by 6, divisible na raw by 3. Yes. So, lahat ng divisible by 6 ay divisible by 3. For our biconditional statement, we do not have or none kasi false yung ating conditional statement. For the inverse statement, lalagyan lang natin ng not yung ating conditional statement. If a number is not divisible by 3, then it is not divisible by 6. So, kahit pag mo nang analyze kung sigurado ka na sa conditional tsaka converse mo, ang sagot na natin dyan ay true kasi palaging parehas si converse tsaka si inverse. Pero analyze pa rin natin. If a number is not divisible by 3, hindi raw divisible by 3. Kaya hindi raw divisible by 6. So, tama naman. Once na hindi na divisible by 3, hindi na rin divisible by 6. And for the contrapositive, pwede na rin nating hindi i-analyze yung kung true or false siya. Dahil si conditional tsaka si contrapositive ay logically equivalent statements. So, false dapat yan. If a number is not divisible by 6, then it is not divisible by 3. Kung hindi raw divisible by 6, hindi na raw divisible by 3. So, hindi po. Balikan natin. Bigay tayo naman. 15. Yung 15, hindi siya divisible by 6. pero divisible naman siya by 3. So, it's a false statement. Okay? So, palaging parehas si conditional at si contrapositive. At palaging parehas si converse at saka si inverse. For letter B, number 1, the correct answer is converse. And for number 2, the correct answer is conditional. So, I hope you got a perfect score kung ilan po yung gusto nyong point system dyan. And I also hope you learned something new today. And see you again in our next videos. What's up, guys?